Hi, welcome. I'm glad to have you guys here again. Today, I want to talk about what do you want your relationship to look like? And that can be with your partner, that can be with your kids, it can be with anyone. But what do you want your relationship to look like? And I think a lot of times we have a lot of advice coming from the world telling us what our relationships should look like. That, if you're doing it 50-50, this is how a relationship should look. And everyone should pull their own chair and what it looks like to respect each other. If they do this or they say this, they're not respecting you. And this can be really good sometimes when we've had a bad example of relationships. It's good to have something to look at, some other advice of how to see a relationship. But sometimes all this advice doesn't quite feel like it resonates with us. It doesn't feel like it matches. And so when we get all of this advice telling us how things should be and it doesn't feel right, we start to feel trapped. And we never feel like we're doing it right. And if we are doing it right, quote, it doesn't feel right. Okay. And that can happen sometimes with trauma or with when we've had bad things happen because we're used to the way that we've seen it. Okay. And so we like the known better than the unknown. So sometimes, even though it's difficult, it's dysfunctional, that's what we've known in the past, we gravitate towards that. But at the same time, we also think if we didn't know it right, then we have to do it the way someone else did it, or almost like pivot so far the other direction, which may not be right either. And we just don't trust ourselves to know what to do. But what I want to offer you is that even though you may have had bad examples, even though you don't know exactly what you want it to look like, there's a part of you that knows what resonates with you. Okay. Even though part of you will want to migrate towards the dysfunction, there is a part of you that knows what you want. But it's hard to find that part. And it's hard to trust that part because you feel like you haven't been able to trust a lot of things in your life. You haven't trusted you to be in really good relationships so far. And that can make it complicated, and you can have all this spiraling going on in your head, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's right. I don't want to do this. Just, it's almost like you don't even want to do relationships. And sometimes you want to give up. And you don't have to. And you can learn how to trust yourself. You do have access to God. You have access to the Holy Ghost. And through that, He will help you make your best decisions. And that's what we're put on this earth to do, is to learn how to do that and to learn how to make our best decisions, to take the information around us and to take the information and the feelings that we get from God and the Holy Ghost and to be able to put those together. And I want you to learn how to trust yourself to do this. And I want to offer you that as you take time to listen to yourself, to practice what it feels like to listen to the Spirit, to listen to your divine intuition, that you will know what you want in a relationship. You will know how to love other people. You will know how to show up as the person that you want to be. And as you feel confident and trust yourself to show up as who you want to be, these relationships will change. Even if you don't ask the other person to change, when you inject that kind of change into a relationship, you will see change. And sometimes it'll just be that the love causes everyone to come together. But other times it puts a strain on the known part of the relationship, on the known, what is expected. When you don't act in the predictable way, then it can make the other person in the relationship feel a little off, even if it's in a good way that you've changed. But I want to offer you to trust yourself and to trust the process, and that you get to decide how you want to show up in a relationship. And so with that, you get to decide what you want your relationships to look like. And they don't have to look like everyone else's. When you show up and that dynamic changes, it may look different. But you get to control how you show up, and you get to decide how you want to show up. And when you trust yourself that you're being the person you want to be in the relationship, you have less of a need to worry about how the other person is in the relationship. And when you are able to trust and love yourself more, that opens yourself up to love and trust another person more. And this is work that I do with my clients, is figuring that out and practicing knowing how that feels and listening to yourself and making the plans that align with yourself on how you want to show up in your relationships. All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, and we'll talk to you next time. And please feel free to message me and let me know if you have any questions, and we can talk about that, and we can talk about how we can work together. Thanks.